Hello, I hope everyone is doing well. Just here to speak to you guys about the 10 tools that I had mentioned. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much for everyone that was able to join us live when we had the Discuss with Has. That was the first of many to come. We're just getting out fillers, getting feedback from people, what they took from it, from all the different speakers. I was quite pleased with myself actually. Not a lot of people turned up physically, but from what we understand, the millennials, the Gen Zs, they want to stay in the comfort of their homes and just connect online. So we had about over 100 people join in, so wonderful. Thank you so much. So like I said, over the years I've had to learn to navigate through what tools I need to be able to succeed or get through the challenges, the turbulences that come with running a business. So I'm just going to go right straight into it. So the first one that I have is personal willpower. So my personal willpower is, what keeps me going after all these years. Why did I even start this in the first place? Why school? Why running a school? Why education? Briefly, like I said, it wasn't my first choice. I was initially thinking of becoming a lawyer because I love to read a lot. Like I could spend a whole week at home just reading novels, and wasn't really particular about the type of novel. Mostly biography. So I read John Grisham. I've read all his books. So yeah. So all those kind of novels that pertain to laws and going to court, so that really sparked my interest as well. No, I don't want to do law. Did business marketing as a major in university because I thought that's where the money is. The marketing was the era of marketing, branding, advertising. So I felt that's where the money is. Fast forward to meeting people, talking about education, the power of giving back, the feeling of fulfillment, if you will. So I've always known that I wanted to do something to give back. So yeah, it's a business that you have to make money, but in a way it's giving back, you're providing good foundation education to children. You're being there for their formative years. You're impacting their lives, even with the staff. You're giving them jobs. So we're like a community that's looking out for each other. So you have to, that fire, that excitement, that wow factor that made you start. You have to keep at it. That's like your willpower. You can't, the fire needs to keep burning, in a nutshell. Two, I would say knowledge. You can't be stagnant and just stay in one position, or you have to keep learning. You have to do courses. Opportunities present themselves. You cannot miss them. So for me, over the years, I've always looked for where and how I can grow myself when it came to me personally. So I did courses like emotional intelligence courses, anger management courses, few HR courses online. So, and then I know because I'm a very visual person, I have to be in class. I always tend to look for courses that are just a day two that I can physically attend. Some courses that you have to travel. Like I did a Cambridge course on leadership and education. So, the knowledge has to keep, you have to keep acquiring the knowledge. You have to be on top of what's new out there. What knowledge do I need to acquire to add value to my business? So it's very important to always go back to school, if you would, but know your strengths. Like I said, because I'm a very visual person, I need to be there. I can't do long-term online courses, but there are different courses, different learning platforms that one can go on and acquire more knowledge and apply in your business. Then your skills, these are your, how do you improve on your skills? So this is where you can use your SWOT analysis, figure out what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and what are your threats and opportunities around you. So if you know you're not good with communication, that's a skill that you need to go and improve on, then you should. I know I had to do a short HR course because I needed to know or find more effective ways to, be a leader. Because I have management staff, I have support staff, and I've got the parents. And because I'm somewhat an emotional person, sometimes my emotions get the best of me. So I needed to learn how to tune down my emotions, choose the right words, facial expressions, smile. So so that's that. And then you kind of set yourself targets and goals. What would you want to achieve? So I started off doing yearly goals, but I realized that was not true to myself, because I do sometimes tend to just say, I'll get to it. So I pushed myself, and I'm like, okay, every 6 months I need to learn something new. There's no rush. You have to be realistic with yourself, because then I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, so I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. So there are all these other elements of life happening, and then just set yourself realistic goals and targets to improve on skills. So it could be anything. It could be learning how to cook, learning how to write letters, like creative writing. It could be, there's so many of them. So you have to really figure out which one works in your favor, which one works towards your career path, which one works, and you have to enjoy it. You can't just pick up a skill and say, I need to do this because I want to work here. It doesn't work that way. You have to enjoy really what you're learning and what you're going to apply it into. You have to be very creative. That's number 4. Creativity. You have to push yourself. I like to push myself. I like to think outside the box. I may not seem like I do that, but I do. Kind of like living on the edge, but in a subtle way. But yeah, so you can think outside the box. Push yourself. Try and diversify. I swear at some point I said I'm going to start a Zobo. I was going to start making Zobo and Kunaya tiger nut drink in my house. Unfortunately, I live in an estate, so the whole concept of having the grinding machine making noise constantly was a no-no. But I just felt, why not? If not, why not? I don't have to stick to just education. I could be selling drinks. I could supply, a lot of these department supermarkets. So if not, why not? You have to find different streams of income, really. Everyone needs to. So for me now, I know I've started this stationery company. It's not growing as fast as I should. Again, I'm being a bit, I'll get to it. But yeah, I did that. I bought a few things. I've set up an Instagram account. So sales are, they're happening, it's going, but I know I could push it more, like do marketing and advertise. So that's one way. I love interior designing, decor. So I'm, thinking perhaps I could start something. Buy a few things here and there. Sometimes I share little things that I find on Amazon, online, and I buy like little knickknacks for the house, and I'll share it and like, what do you guys think? So that could be something that I should actually push to be another business. So you have to be very creative, think, ask, reflect, share ideas with people around you and see what happens. Then the fifth one I realize is your contacts, your circle, people that you surround yourself with. It's very important. So over the years, I've learned to just kind of like shed people that said they were my friends or were friends, and just sort of like filter and pick out who I felt was adding value to my life personally, to my business. Who do I know that I can call and can hook me up with, I don't know, some loan facility, or you just need to have people that they're relevant. That's the key word in everything that you do. So that's really important. You need people in your corner that would push you. You need people in your corner that would help you be creative. You need people that when you're succeeding, they would share in your success. When you're down, they would be there to catch you, basically. So make sure you have relevant people in your life that are in your contacts. Don't surround yourself with friends that you guys are just going to be sitting down and chatting breeze and just, you could have, you could spend time with your friends and go out, but at the end of the day, something has to, there has to be a positive influence. So yeah, relevant people around you in your circle, your contacts. Now, I put money as number 6 because if you do not have the personal willpower, you do not have set skills, you do not have the creativity, you do not have the contacts, what good is your money? For me, I feel personally, the money is very important. It needs to be there, but you have to have all these things ready for your money to come into play. So for instance, I had decided I wanted to start a school. I wanted to build something. Then I had to figure out who's going to help me put together the business plan, how we're going to do the HR, what qualifications of teachers do I need. So I had to find like my contacts. That's where my contacts came in, and the knowledge. I had to do I actually went and did a Montessori course for a year, so that I know what I'm delivering. I know what I'm giving. I'm not just going to come and open a school because I wanted to know that I had a certain qualification as well when it comes to that. And I love the idea of children learning through play, through experience. So that's why I chose the Montessori course. And then, so you need money. Once you have everything in place, your money comes into place. I started putting together, bought the resources, the furniture, and of course, you need your business to make money, so the business keeps running itself. So again, with that, you have to be a bit more creative. You have to have more knowledge. So it's kind of like a circle. Everything kind of just sort of comes together. So money, yes. Then number 7 is positive mental attitude. So I've learned that that you can't choose, the circumstances that you find yourself in. Sometimes these things just happen. For instance, COVID happened. And I learned that I had to be deliberate in how I was dealing with it, my emotions, my responses. So I could have easily, I think at the beginning, I really was just numb, and I could hear what people were saying, but I, I was listening. Sorry, so I was listening, but I wasn't hearing it. It was just not sitting well with me. Like, I was just not allowing myself to process it properly. So I went into a very low moment, and I had to find a way to snap out of it. So for me, it was calling a lady that has been in education for a very long time, and I just broke down, like, literally, and she's just like, Hadisa, you're not alone in this, so we can get through this, we'll talk about it, call me every day, what are your plans, what are your staff saying? I went through the phase where I couldn't afford to pay my staff. Of course, I lost a few good teachers because of that, and I don't blame them. They needed to feed their families, they needed an income. So I felt like I had failed them, it was very worrisome. And I wanted to at some point take the easy way out and say, I'm going to close down the school, but my head teacher was like, then what happens to us? Did you think about us, their staff that are relying on the school for their livelihood? So at some point I had to change my attitude mentally and just, reset, hit the reset button, and I was ready to go. So moving on, I've just said to myself, whatever happens, it is what it is. I'm not going to allow myself to wallow in that moment. Probably give myself like 5-10 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, what do we do? Because it just didn't add anything really. It was just constant day and night about crying emotionally, like physically crying, or crying about it verbally. So I've just said to myself that I'm just going to give it 5-10 minutes, and then I pick up myself and I move. So that's that, a positive mental attitude. So number 8 is good work ethics. We have this tendency of like, it's okay now, we get to it. Meeting is at 10. Yeah, when we get there for like 10 or 10, it's fine. No, it's not fine. It's absolutely not fine. When meeting is set for 10 o'clock, I am there at 9:50. Even here in my school. So when we set a meeting, I'm the first one seated there. And I think eventually they got the message. So you have to be professional. You have a brand that you're trying to create. You have services that you're trying to provide. And so for me, I'm like, if I'm telling my children, or I want the kids that go through WIS to be punctual, to have good manners, to be polite, to have self-discipline, to be confident, and I'm not exuding all those characteristics, then what are we doing? So, but yeah, you have to kind of lead by example. I remember my first ever interview when I wanted to work, just for experience. I was in the UK, and I got, we placed you send out different applications, and I got a job offer with this clothing store called Joseph. I walked into the store wearing jeans, t-shirt, and a baseball cap. And honestly, I think I remember now the lady's expression when she saw me. She's like, "We're not trying to employ a gangster here." Like, so, I sat there, I spoke. So I spoke well, because here's the thing. We were actually being prepped and trained at uni on how to conduct ourselves when we go for interviews. I have no idea how I just missed that mark on the way I presented myself. So even your appearance, in terms of what you wear, has to be on point. I did get the job because I didn't do my research. Joseph is a somewhat professional, conservative clothing brand. They were not selling, I don't think then they had even started selling jeans. So for me to come in, dressed like that, it just set off the wrong tone. So it all adds up, your facial expression, your tone of your voice, your appearance, what etiquettes are you living by? That has to translate into your business, whatever business that you're doing. You have to have good work ethics. It's very broad, so you can only try and narrow it down to what fits into you, your beliefs and your culture. Sometimes even your religion. There's certain things that is permissible, and there's certain things that are not. So you have to stand by your ground. You have to stand on your ground, and you need to be professional. Try and be professional at all times. Sometimes it's difficult, I would not lie, because sometimes I have parents that will come and they're saying A to Z things, and I'm just looking at you like, and then I've learned to just sort of like, okay, the customer is always right, and just smile and just hold it together. I have lost it 1 or 2 times, but I've learned that the customer is always right. Okay, so the 9th for me that I've put in there is luck. Now, why luck? Some people like, really? And I'm like, yes, sometimes people do get lucky. And when you get lucky, things just start happening. Your business booms. So my luck was, I had these set of parents, I think by like the 6th or 7th year of running the school, that really were in tune with my vision and were with me 100%. They understood when I said we needed to do certain things this way. And there were parents that went out there and spoke for WIS, word of mouth really. They marketed the school using word of mouth, and we grew like almost 100%. So my school is a small size school, right? My max, the entire school is like 120. So we grew to almost like 80 within a space of 2 years, because these parents just were like, we're behind you 100%. So for me, I felt it was my luck. Another example could be, you could just be sitting somewhere having dinner or lunch with friends, and you're having a conversation with your friends about, I want to do this business, and then probably the person sitting right next to you is starting a project like that, and coincidence, luck, you're there at the same time, and they're like, oh my god, I've been looking for someone to do this with, and then boom, things happen. So luck sometimes plays a part in it. So never underestimate the power of luck. The 10th one is really prayer. Like for me, I say prayer like 3 times. You cannot. So personally, I'm a very spiritual person. Like I have, my moments where I'm just in my zone, and I know throughout my life, whatever it is that has happened, I mean, it's a not giving, it's through prayer. I don't take my prayers for granted, and I don't mean just my 5 daily prayers. I mean like prayer, like sometimes you just take, even if it's a minute or 2, and just pray and just say it. God is listening. So prayer is a powerful tool in whatever it is that you're about to do, you're doing, or you're thinking of doing. anything, personal life, professional life. Um, you need to pray about it, and ask for blessing in your business, your lives. Ask for protection. Prayer. It's a absolute must. Then, last two, you have to love what you do. You absolutely you need to love what you do, because you will get to the point where I'm tired and I have a mental block. I don't have the money. My staff are doing this. It will get tough. You will get to a point where you're just stuck. But because you have that fire and you love it, you thrive on it, you'll be fine. Succeeding in a business is a journey. I've learned in the last 14 years. You have to, well, listen, hindsight is a beautiful thing. So if someone has said to me 14 years down the line, you're going to want to transition into talking to people, the younger generation, about, navigating through, life choices, career paths. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I want to be in my shell. Like, I'm not in the public eye. I don't want to. But here I am, because I feel like over the years I've seen my growth, and I want to be able to share that with people that if I had this sort of platform 10, 20 years ago, I probably would have done certain things differently. But I'm blessed and lucky to have good support system. My network now is growing. I'm understanding that I need to have people in my circle that are relevant. So I love coming to school in the morning and being in the process of what we're teaching the kids, how we're teaching the kids, and just seeing the kids have fun while learning. That's, for me, it's something that I can't put a price tag on it. So as much as another thing, my children got to be in the school. My first two sons went through Wooden Tods, and my last son is in Wooden Tods right now. And the comfort of just knowing that I have my kids with me. So I'm setting myself up, because if my children are here, then I'm not going to compromise. So yeah, I absolutely love running the school. I love, sometimes in the beginning I used to be in the class, just to read books to the kids, and but I absolutely love the process. That's what I love the most. I love sitting down with my management staff. We're looking at new schemes. What do we want the kids to learn? What's working? What's not working? It gives me some sense of fulfillment to be part of the process. So, hence this new transition. It's all about being fulfilled. What makes you happy? What will make you, fulfilled? So you have to really enjoy what you do, because if you don't, you're not gonna succeed at all. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you find my shared tools useful and apply into your lives or your work or your career or your business. So yeah, until next time, you take care, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.